select people to represent you in the National Assembly or State Assembly, you are expected for them to do that which is enshrined in the Constitution as their primary responsibility. But sometimes the bills that are supposed to be masses friendly are not really attended to, or you can say they don't give them speedy attention. And because of this, we ask the question, are they truly representing the people, or they are there for their own selfish interests? Thank you, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today on Nigeria Now. I have Joyce with me on the set. Joyce, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sambo Solomon, and afternoon to our viewers out there. It's indeed a privilege, like I always say, to be on this platform because it helps us to look at issues that are surrounding our nations, and not just issues, but challenges, problems, and more importantly, it avails us the opportunity to even proffer solutions to some of these issues.
Yes, talking about people representing the masses, you know, we have people that are representing us from the state to the State Assembly, and we have people that we select to represent us to the National Assembly. That is, we have the Senate and then the House of Representatives. That's the red chamber and then the green chamber. And then they have this constitutional right, or what is enshrined in the Constitution as their own primary responsibility once they're there. You know, the primary responsibility is to do, to create laws, you know, that will make the life of the citizen, like, easy. And then in time without number, we see some bills that, if you look at it, is that they are the ones directly involved. And then there are ones that you find that it goes down to the people in the ward levels, like in the local government. And I believe because of that, that is when the issue of local government autonomy, you know, a bill to amend that so that local government will have their own autonomy because of the agitation that, you know, that has been there for ages, that governors use the local government fund for their own personal thing because they are the ones that install these local government chairmen, and whatever they tell them, that is what they would do. And we have so many, you can attest to that. And I asked this question, you know, when a member of the National Assembly is being faced with such law, and then he come back without attending to those bills or not saying anything, would he have that mind to sleep in the name that he is working for his people while he's not? It's just a question that I ask myself. Like, when you come back to sleep, how do you sleep? Knowing that you have bills down there that you're supposed to push, that the common man will feel the impact. Joyce.
Well, the situation is sad, like very sad and pathetic. If you ask me, that you have representatives that yet go to the State House of Assembly or National Assembly and end up not representing the people, but rather represent themselves. So, we are talking about the 44 bills that the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review sent to the House of Assembly. That's in March, for them to vote, and then forward it back to the National Assembly. Now, you know that in Nigeria, for example, all of us cannot go to the House of Assembly. All of us cannot go to the National Assembly. And that is why we go out on election day to vote for our representatives. Because since it cannot accommodate everybody, and we cannot hear all the over 200 million people, then there is need for us to select people that will speak on our behalf. And that is what Nigerians do when it comes to election. But like I said earlier, the situation is sad when these people go and they don't represent the people. They rather go and represent their selfish interests. I know that from 2020 and then 2021, Nigerians have been clamoring for constitution review. Some have been saying the constitution should be changed, it's outdated, and so many things. People have raised a lot of issues. One of which is the local government autonomy. And then the National Assembly sat down on this, and then they came up with about 44 bills that were supposed to be looked into. And because on their own, they cannot just go ahead and pass a bill or just implement it, the House of Assembly, like State House of Assembly that represent the people, are supposed to say the voice of the people. And then these 44 bills were sent since March 2022 to the various 36 State House of Assembly. And then only 11 states, between March and then October, only 11 states actually voted and forwarded this, their whatever they came up with to the National Assembly. Knowing well that National Assembly cannot take decision, they need 2/3 of the vote from the State House of Assembly.
Yes. Yeah.
And after sending this, only 11 states responded. 25 states are yet to respond to that. What was their reason? They said before they vote in the bills, there must be establishment of state police. It must include establishment of judicial council. There must be procedure for removal of presiding officers of the State House of Assembly. They did not even stop there, so they added that there must be institutionalized legislative bureaucracy. Until that 44 bill added with these 48 is being added together before they can vote on it. And I say between March and October, why do we have to leave it for this long before we talk about this? Now, the ones that you already have in place, what have you done about it? For a very long time, Nolge has been advocating for local government autonomy. We know that Section 162, Paragraph 6 of the Nigerian Constitution allow for joint account of state and then local government, which does not even give limits the local government access to the joint account. They have to rely on governors. And a lot of times when you talk about local government, the 774 local governments we have in Nigeria, they are synonymous to bad roads. They are synonymous to lack of power supply. They are synonymous to lack of payment of salaries. And people have said that, why can't you give these people autonomy so that there will be infrastructural development, there will be prompt payment of salary. But what we see is that 25 states are saying, no, we are not ready for this. I remember in January, the organized Labour Congress in the North Central went to Lafayette to speak with the Speaker of the House of Assembly there, begging him that please, there is need for local government autonomy. And he promised them that once the National Assembly sent this bill to them, that immediately they will work on it. But between March and October, nothing. 25 states are yet to say anything about it. Solomon, countries like United States of America, Australia, and even Germany have seen the importance of local government, because that constitutes what made them a federal state, and that is why they did not even toy with the issue of making them autonomous or making them, democratizing them. Because when you develop the local government, you're developing the nation as a whole. These people are closer to the grassroots. Like, the idea of even creating local government is to make the people closer to the government. And that is why these countries did not even joke with that. If you develop your the local government you have in your country, you're developing the nation at large. The resources we are boasting about today, where are they coming from? Is from the local government. Yet the local governments are underdeveloped. Councillors and chairmen, if you don't bootlick your governors, then of course it's either you are removed or you will not even get your allocations. People are just in the offices doing nothing because of laws like this joint account. I think if these people are being allowed to operate on their own, it will allow for fast development of the local government. But like I would say, Norgay just said that if they don't, they're already organizing protests against these 25 states that are yet to vote on these 44 bills. And if they protest, I don't know how the outcomes will be, but I always ask myself this question: do we always have to wait for protests From March to October, we're yet to do anything on these bills. Are we waiting for protests before we come out and plead with people and then actions are going to be carried on? I think we need to be circumspect in terms of decisions like this that of benefit to Nigerians. But even above this, I would like to call on Nigeria. The Constitution, now Section 110, have given us the power to invoke any member of the House of Assembly that is not representing you. Maybe if you like, it's time for you to call your representative and ask them, how far with these laws? What are you doing about it? And if you're not satisfied with what they are doing in that House of Assembly, you invoke them, invoke that law on them, and maybe you recall them back.
I agree with you. This has been a serious concern because even the chairman of the Constitutional Review, you know, in person of Senator Omo Ogege, you know, the Deputy Senate President, who is the chairman of the Constitutional Review, he said, and I quote, 6 months after the transmitting of 44 bills to the State Assembly for concurrence, it is almost disheartening to inform you that only 11 State House of Assembly have demonstrated their independence and loyalty. Demonstrated their independence and loyalty. I love that, you know, to the Constitution, to the Constitution regarding the bill. 25 State Houses of Assembly have yet to consider and vote on this bill. So far, only, that is Abia, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Delta, Edo, Kaduna, Katsina, Kogi, Lagos, Ogun, and Osun State have successfully considered, vote on, and forwarded their resolution on the 44 bill to the National Assembly. It was intentional. I just have to read it so that people will know, even the states that already they have consented, they have done their constitutional responsibility, because that's how I see it. The question that I ask in all that you say, Joyce, is it that it is now that they discover that issue of local state policing? Is it now that they are discovering? Is it now that they know that there's a problem when it comes to issue of removing principal officers? You know, you see that happening in all states of assembly. You remember what happened in Ekiti. You remember what happened in Bauchi. I don't know if the one in Plateau State is even resolved. You understand? So you can just see all is the issue of principal officers who lead the house, who take this committee chairman, who does that. And if you look at it entirely, you find out that that's the reason why in the initial I asked the question. Is it that they are representing you or they are representing their personal interest? Because now they are talking themselves in the house. How to remove a principal officer? How does it affect the common man, the man in Pushit, you know, the man in Awak? How does it affect him directly? While we are talking about local government autonomy, that he knows that directly he can see his chairman. If he has anything to do with his word, he can quickly relate with his councillor, and then he will be listened to. Like right now, election is coming, like you said. That section that gives the voter a right, you know, the power to invoke, to recall any member. I think we have tried it. Remember the issue of Dino Malai in Kogi, when we were thinking that was the only recall that will work, because so many, you know, tried and then it failed. It was his own that it was almost achievable, but later on, everything just went. You know the politics around it. You know, trying to gather the people, the real voters, trying to sign, you know, and the rest. The process is rigorous, and I think it's something that they are supposed to be asking, that particular process should be cut down, should be reduced, so that you don't have to go that process, to recall a member. But they will not do that because it affects them.
Of course.
So I feel it is very important, like you said. I just want to add my voice to it. Like, okay, this is 2023 that is coming right now. Already they have started going around telling people to vote them. Some are coming for the second time, some are coming for the first time, some are coming for the third time. You understand? Okay, what have you done? Okay, concerning this bill that I'm directly affected, that is yet hanging, you didn't do anything. What are you saying about it? Because from now till the time of election, I think these people, the masses should hold them responsible with that. If by the time of election, these people are yet to sign or to bring out their resolution, I think members should revoke their representative. I think they should call them. That's my take.
No, in other climes, members, leaders don't even wait to be recalled. Like, if people fail from discharging their primary responsibility, they resign. As of today, 20th of October 2022, the Prime Minister of UK, Therese, have resigned just 45 days after being in office. And her reason was what she hopes to achieve. Like, after coming into office, she saw that she was unable to. And that is why she's resigning just 2 months. But our leaders here will spend one tenor, second tenor. You are still calling them to assent to bills that will favor the people. And yet they will not do it. They keep prolonging issues. And you ask for whose interest? Nigeria today is lagging behind in development measures. Why? Because of weak governance, lack of capacity. And that is why we are where we are today. I always make emphasis to 2023 election. We should wake up to our responsibility. Our government leaders are supposed to protect. Section 14 subsection 2B of the Nigerian Constitution says that the primary responsibility of the government is protection of life and then the welfare of the people. If you fail in that, it's like you said earlier, how do you even sleep? Knowing that your people are being killed, knowing that people are even living in hunger. People cannot even afford 3 square meals. How are people? It's in this same country that some people, without working, they earn 90 million every month. An ex-governor will be paid 90 million for like every month, and yet somebody cannot even afford a square meal. Like, as we look forward to 2023, I think Nigerians should vote leaders on the basis of service. People that are competent, people that are idea-driven, so that our nation can grow.
I truly agree with you. It is high time. Yes, we should use our PVC wisely. You know them. Now we have mentioned the states that are yet to do that constitutional responsibility. So those that are lacking. So engage them. Ask them questions. What are they waiting? And I support the no-gale, the union. It is high time they should mobilize people from the grassroots, because anybody that refuses to give local government autonomy is anti-masses. Whoever he is, he's anti-masses. And I think they are just the governors are trying real hard to see that this constitutional review didn't get the two-thirds that is being required. And that's the reason why they are frustrating it, because they are beneficiaries. Because I watched one interview that even Mr. President was seriously lamenting concerning that. And I can assure you, is one of the reasons that made masses to even vote him from the grassroots. Because he told them, he said, once I get into the office, I will make sure I try my possible best to see that local government gets her own autonomy. And look at what we are saying. And he was so frustrated because he said the process is even frustrating, even things that you want to do. In that interview, he was lamenting. He said, in a situation whereby you will come and then somebody will write a letter to you that you have collected 300 billion, for instance, and then what they are giving you is 100 million, and you sign and you are quiet. He said, even the local government is the problem, because there's law. Why can't you pick it up? But I think it is now that we are supposed to pick it, because now we are beginning to see the light. But some people are frustrating it. So the masses should wake up. Just to add to what we are discussing yesterday, the minister have given us the breakdown of the budget of 20.51 trillion. We have defense having the highest with 2.74 trillion, which is 13%. Then education sector with 2.05, which is 10%. Then health sector with 1.58, which is 8%. And then infrastructure with 5%, with the total of 998.93 billion. And then you have the social development and poverty reduction programs with 756 billion, which is 5%. How do you see?
Well, this is something that Nigerians have been looking forward to, the breakdown of this budget. Recall that on the 7th of October 2022, the president appeared before the joint house and then presented the 2023 proposed budget. And then yesterday we saw how the Minister of Finance, Hajia Zainab Ahmed, came to talk about the breakdown, and we saw how that security is taking the large chunk, which is like 13% before education, and then health, and then others. But one question that you would like to ask is that, is it in line with global best practices, or is it something that tomorrow we'll still have unions going on strike because what they have is unable to meet their needs? And of concern to me is even the debt of this nation. So low, like 60% of this budget is going, like the revenue, what we are having is going for debt servicing. And then I would like to ask, what is even the cost of governance? In that proposed budget, when you look at the presidency and what is going to be spent on the president and then the vice president, the cost of travel is 3.34 billion naira just for travel for the president and then the vice president. And I asked, how many of these their travel brought investment to this nation? When you go down to food, you see 79.227 million just for food for the president and vice president alone. When you go to annual routine maintenance of mechanical and electrical installation, 7.20 billion. And when you go to medical, which is even of interest to me, like just for the presidential wing, it is 3.93 million. And I asked, how many times does the president or vice president visit that? When every time we see how that the president is being flown abroad or is traveling for medical trip. So why are we even spending this money? Why can't we channel this money to other things? What is our expenditure? What is even our capital project? What is our priority? We are spending on travels. We are spending on feeding, on payment, more than even capital project like roads, education, health. How do we intend to bring our nation out of recession? How do we intend to develop our local government? How do we intend to come out of even recession? Like, can we start thinking of cutting down the cost of governance and channeling this money to industry, production, education, health, security? If these things are in place, every other thing will be in place. Far beyond coming out to give this breakdown, how is it going to impact the lives of Nigerians? Will 95% of Nigerians have access to road, access to healthcare, education? Will they have, will our graduates be employed? Will they have conducive environment? Those that are skillful, those that are into businesses, will they have the enabling environment to thrive?
Just look at it now. Infrastructure is not even up to 1 trillion. We are talking about 998.93 billion, which is just 5%. If you are talking about roads, you are talking about building hospitals, you are talking about and then now security taking the chunk money, 13%. And then you ask yourself, the entire security structure, taking this amount, and then still yet people cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. And then you ask yourself, does it worth it? spending this amount of money. In fact, Nigerians will say, if it's possible, let them just share them the money so that they will defend themselves. At least they will know that, yes, I have the money, so it is my responsibility now to defend myself. So time without number, this country have been spending a lot, when in terms of security. And then 7 years down the line, we can't say this is what we have seen remarkable, when it comes to issue of tackling insecurity in this country. You remember the controversial, buying of the Tokuno jet, from US, which the country have been going back and forth. Yes, the jet is here, but it's not put to use, and people are asking, is because of insurgency, you say you want to buy these things. And then people begin to ask so many questions that, it will just take us the whole day asking those questions and then no answer. But like you rightly said, are we going to continue like this? The answer is no. Because Nigerians are hoping to see a new Nigeria, a Nigeria that will accommodate everyone, a Nigeria that, the child of the high and low will go to the same school. And then you can go to any health sector and access a good health facility. And so many things, Joyce. I think 2023 is a year for us to change, to turn things around.
I won't agree less with you. Well, for us, so maybe they might be smiling because from the allocation now, it has met one of their needs, which is the issue of revitalization. But beyond education, I hope that beyond paper is going to be meeting needs of people, because right now, NMA have told us that in Nigeria, we only have 24,000 doctors. That's to say 10,000 Nigerians to one doctor. And currently over 10,000 doctors are practicing in UK, Canada, and other countries. Well, we look forward to seeing that as we break down, we're going to be looking at international indices to see if it's going in line. And I just want to tell Nigerians that as we look forward to 2023, let's look out for people that have the fear of God. Let's look out for somebody that loves Nigeria. And when we have the right person, then Nigeria will be great.
Let's look out for the righteous people. Thank you for doing this with us, and keep a date with us by tomorrow, same station, same time. Thank you, and God bless you.